It's me, Rav. Bill and I are going on tour this October and November. 30 cities nationwide. Get your tickets now at keepthechangetour.com. Bye-bye.
Thank you to our patrons for helping make this podcast possible. Keeps my coat shiny and white. Oh, okay. We're talking about sucking. Hello.
Oh, is he recording?
Yeah, he says he's recording. That means that we're recording by proxy.
Oh, yeah. Well, dude.
We gotta leave it in. We gotta leave it in.
You're being a dick, bro.
I'm not.
What the fuck?
How am I being a dick?
What the fuck? What the hell, man?
I didn't do nothing. I didn't do nothing.
Can we talk about something real quick, Bill?
We can talk about anything you want to talk about.
I need you to, yes and a lot of this stuff. Okay?
Okay. I'm here for it.
Okay. Because this is going to be just straight from the dome. I'm going to tap into, some other essence.
Let it fly.
Yeah. What did I say at the beginning?
You said you commanded me to let you ask me a question. I said yes. And then you kind of went on this tirade about some other shit. And then you asked me what you wanted me. You said something about yes anding you.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a hint. What was I cooking?
I like the idea, you trying to get out of me what you were thinking. This is not the first time this has happened, I'm pretty sure. So
Okay, remember recently when you visited me?
Yes. I recall.
And we walked to a gas station.
Yes.
Right?
And
okay, yeah, and you got a bunch of I got a bunch of drinks. I got those spicy sliced pickles.
Mm-hmm.
You got some sort of drink, and you got a bunch of things that I asked you about at the time. I was like, what is this? It was it looked cool. It looked I thought there were some sort of supplements, for energy, booster energies.
Mm-hmm.
And they had cool pictures on them, rhinos and stuff like that.
Yeah. I had a lot of those. I got a lot of those. Yeah, we'll see.
Whenever we go into a store, into a gas station, and you see those, you go, give me your whole stock.
Yeah, I'm give me. I do this. Give me. Which is super chill. Most of the time, the clerk likes that. They're usually yeah, this guy's cool. I'd hang out with him. They say that out loud usually.
So what's that all about? You never actually told me. I never asked you because I didn't want to seem uncultured. But what are they?
Well, listen, when a man loves a woman or man or non-binary person,
mm-hmm.
sometimes they want to express that love through hot sex and partial blindness. Now, hear me out, okay? You just got to pop it. And just, where does the night go? I don't know, but apparently.
So what does it do? So okay, I'm with you on the sex part, right?
Uh-huh.
I know what sex is.
Yeah.
I promise you, right?
Yeah. I believe you.
Okay, so what does this pill accomplish?
Well, let's just say you want to have a boner, but a boner plus.
What do you mean boner plus? Makes your dick bigger?
Yeah, well, bigger, harder, stronger, and it also gives you heart palpitations.
Okay.
It's crazy because I actually saw. Just for the record, I've never actually
this would
taken.
Inspired Daft Punk, by the way, because you said faster, bigger, stronger,
more vascular. Yeah, do it bigger, faster, stronger, more vascular. Partial blindness. I mean, I assume that it's it's for people who it's basically Viagra with caffeine. I think. I don't know.
You told me you told me that you like to pop a few and then
chill. Just have a nice night. You just see where it goes. Watch some Dexter.
You told me you like to play with the vein lines, but yeah. Also, you said you like to cocktail it with laxatives. Can you explain how that works for you? I just want to understand what the.
Well, like, listen. It's literally so I can say, like, some people say they with the shits, but I'm with the shits, and I go, and just shit my pants. Really, like, it gets kind of, it's like coming out the waistband type shit. You know what I mean? Like,
that's awesome. That's
all while I have a like a Donald Duck style boner. Like, you know what I mean?
Donald Dunk.
Dunk. What is the difference between Donald Duck and Donald Dunk? Like, what do you think Donald Dunk is doing?
You would think that he'd be like, tall, right, or something.
Maybe.
But Donald Dunk sounds like. I don't know. He doesn't sound like he would really be into any kind of sports in my mind.
No.
But that's neither here nor there, because I need you to stay on topic here, okay? So you so you take a bunch of these pills. On the one hand, you tell me that they make it so that like the veins on your dickums protrude, right?
Yeah, sometimes they burst.
Can you take me through that? Also, I'm imagining.
Take you through it?
Wait, yeah.
What does that even mean?
Okay, I'll explain. I need you to. I need your like POV, right? Like there you are. You pop a bunch of these pills. You got the laxatives, coursing through your system. Mm-hmm. Right? You're playing with the veins on your dick. One of them pops, right? Uh-huh. Tell me like what your reaction is, what's going through your brain. Take us through it step by step. Some of us don't know what this is like.
Well, okay. When right before I shit myself, usually I have this issue where I've got this one vein that's a little bit of a troublemaker, And I if you give it a little poke, sometimes it might just it's kind of a problem.
What do you mean? What do you mean? Explain. What is that?
Well,
what
you poke it,
there?
and it's like exactly like what you think. Like a kind of a.
Poik just makes it sound like it squirts a little.
Yeah, it's just like a little. It's not like a full on like. I just put a Band-Aid on it.
Is it when like you like try to pop a zit and like. Look, there's like that initial burst that flies onto the mirror.
Well, but it keeps happening until I put the Band-Aid around my bulbous penis. So basically, what happens is that happens. I've talked to my doctor about it. He's a real doctor, and he said, just chill a little bit, just chill. Next time it happens, just chill.
No, so that's what I've been doing. Through your head, your
my experience.
Yeah, this happening in front of you right now. You poke
like the first time, or just like the 12th time.
Right now, if it happened, what would you do?
I'd be like, oh, nuts. I'd say, what is like a good phrase that like white people say? Like, okay, the equivalent of like, I don't give a rat's ass, like that, but for like shucks, like that kind of.
Oh yeah. Oh, darn. Heck. Heck.
Oh, cheese and crackers. That's what I said.
Fuck ass. Fuck my ass.
Fuck my ass. My dick's bleeding. My dick's bleeding again.
Fuck my ass. The vein on my cock exploded again.
And as I'm saying this, you just really like violent shitting, I'm shifting in my leather chair. And it sounds crazy. It sounds crazy.
It's your birthday next month, right?
Yeah.
34, right?
34 years young.
Yeah. You are now tuning into Void FM.
4052, why don't you turn around and let's Back into the table. Okay. get a view from there and I'll see what the field of view looks like.
Okay, we're back. It's your boys. Bill and Rav about to kill and scrap.
I was gonna say kill and stab.
Kill and stab and fill your ass with chill ass jazz.
Yeah. Roll the clip. Roll the clip.
We about to fill your fucking assholes up with some smooth jazz.
For some reason, every time you say that, I want to go roll the clip. Roll the clip. And there's no clip ever. It never plays.
We're about to fill y'all's asses up with a good time. Okay. We're about to, your asses, when we're done with you, your asses, because of us, are going to be filled with smooth jazz. What do you think of that, Bill? What do you think of that?
I think that I need a different hat to say that kind of thing. To say, I can't remember because we have conversations on and off of the podcast, which is, strange, I know. So I can't remember if we have this conversation about like me wanting to become a jazz man and how I could never do it. Was that on the podcast or no? That wasn't, right?
I don't think that was on the podcast. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, so I knew a guy, a white guy growing up. His name was Wally.
Dad.
His name was Wally.
His name was Dad.
His name was Dad. What if you think that your parents' names are legally like Mom and Dad? Oh yeah. It's what you didn't put Mom Johnson down or whatever. You put your actual name. Put Katie Johnson. You fraud. Anyway, what was I just saying? Oh. So I was saying I grew up with this dude. This dude used to go to church with me, and his name was Wally. And I knew it was...
Oh, shit. The little robot?
Yeah. He was a little robot dude. Anyway, no. He was this dude. He was like... He's really tall. He was like 6'5", very skinny. Okay? Like kind of, and like a skeletal man, didn't look bad, but just, just skinny. And he always would wear like to church, like almost like a Hawaiian shirt, but like the equivalent of that, but like a dress shirt, if that makes any sense. Like a nice, it was like a button down, but it had like intricate patterns and stuff all the time. Some would say they were like loud shirts, Yeah. And he had this thing that he did where he just decided at some point in his life that he's like gonna be like a jazz guy. Okay. He didn't listen to jazz, I don't think, but he would like walk in and be like, "Hey, what up, cool cats?" Like, okay. How about, like Jimmy's dad on Jimmy Neutron?
Yeah. Like
kind of that energy, but like more amped up. You know what I mean? Like, and he would do this thing where he would like walk around. He would like scat. Like he would like walk like this when he would talk. He'd be like skibbity bop. Just like do that. Just do that. I don't know. And
that's your future.
Well, the thing is that like everybody loved him. Nobody was like, this is weird. It's like just a thing. And he would always just
good vibes.
He just always be like, right on, like all the time. And it was like, he was not cool. He was like cool and like he was a nice guy and shit, but like he wasn't like pulling it off, right? But everybody was like,
he just had good vibes.
Super good vibes. So I think maybe I could be a man like him one day. I feel like I have good vibes. I think I could do this. I could wear shades. That's my problem. I don't wear shades enough.
Yeah, thank God.
You don't think I'd look good with shades?
Actually, no, shades, you would look cool.
Some big aviators.
You gotta let me redesign you one day.
I would love that. I would love that.
Oh yeah, I would love to. Because I feel like there's so many things you still haven't tried, So, and like, you don't got long left. Potentially.
Dude, if I like, you're gonna all these jokes are gonna come back and bite you in the ass when I like die on tour or something. You know what I mean? And you're gonna have to be like be saddled with a lifetime of grief. Be like, I said he was gonna die all the time, and he did.
No, you're projecting. You're projecting. I wouldn't be there. I would be like, okay, that's kind of fucking funny. Like, I'd be like, that's admitted. You can't not admit that that's kind of funny. You know?
Well, I do have this thing where it's like I saw this clip the other day of like it was Howard Stern, and he got in a bunch of hot water because there was a lady who like used to come on his show all the time, and she like died of a heroin overdose, and then the next day, her boyfriend like brought in her ashes, and they were like fucking with her ashes and stuff. And like the whole time they were like, oh yeah, she would have loved this. It's not that big of a deal. She would have loved this. I'm saying this right now. I totally would love that. Like 100%. Like,
okay.
You know,
So I've been curating your the playlist for your funeral, right?
Yeah. How's it coming along?
It's good. I want it. You okay with an open casket funeral, right?
Well, depending on how I die, then yeah. like what is my cause of death?
I don't know, but they'll make it look like you're just laying normally there, you know, peaceful.
But like if I get hit by a car or something, you know, like maybe actually, you know what, fuck it, I'm not gonna be there. Why not?
Yeah. Open casket, and I want them to lower you into the earth while the casket remains open.
They just dump dirt into my casket.
Yeah, and while it happens, like my playlist plays in the background, like I don't know, you know, something like that.
yeah, that's a good one. Have you seen that? Have you seen that clip? It was from like. It has to be like a 10-year-old clip now, but it was like this dude he knew he was dying. He had like a terminal disease, and he recorded like a whole bunch of like, let me out of this casket. And like they played as they were like dropping him down.
Yeah, that's so funny.
Yeah, I want to do some shit like that. Like I want like on God, I know everyone's like, I want my funeral to be a celebration. I want like no one, like everyone will be sad, but like I want people to be like, turning up and like cracking up
for real,
shit.
and having a good time. I would definitely be cracking jokes at your obituary, or what's it called?
The obituary, or the eulogy.
Eulogy, yeah. I've already like written like a few drafts over the years, so I don't like to procrastinate, Bill. Okay, I like to
yeah. You got to be prepared.
Yeah, so like at least I'll have like some templates to work from. You know.
Yes.
How you been, man? How's your week been?
It's been good. We've
been busy, right? Getting ready for the fucking tour.
Yeah, I've been getting ready for tour. I've been practicing. I've been doing my little. This is how I practice. I do this number while I practice.
I go out every morning and evening, and I walk somewhere along the train tracks, the railroad, and I practice, and it's been fun. You know that path where we walked to the tunnel that was closed? It's open now.
Oh, that's sick. People. Oh, that's sick. Yeah. I've been doing this thing to practice, and I feel like this is a little bit hard mode, but I'll practice while I'm driving, and I'll turn on the GPS and just drive somewhere. And so I have to rap it, but also while Siri is like yelling like, up at the next exit, take the next exit, hang right, take that. And it turns the music down while you do it. So you have to like, it feels like I'm doing it.
I think that's medium difficulty. If you want to crank it up, and that's like also like throwing jacking off into the mix.
Oh, well, that was
you
like
have to keep your brain partially focused on keeping like boner.
You didn't let me finish. This is after I've taken my rhino pills and my laxatives. So
that's cheating though. Those are enhancements at that point.
Yeah, exactly. I just go like cross-eyed and I could just do every verse without even thinking, you know? Yeah. But no.
What is it, secret? How does Bill know his lyrics so well every time? It's easy. Laxatives and boner pills. That's
hell
it.
Yeah.
That's the secret. And chocolate milk.
That really does bring it all together, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
I appreciate like gas station chocolate milk. You know what I mean? Like the ones like it's like extra thick. I don't know what they're putting in that shit. They're putting something in there.
Yeah.
Some kind of shit. The nut. That's what it is. Putting a little bit of that goo in there, you know? What about you? What's been going on with you? I know you've been like you got your whole situation all set up over here. It looks beautiful in there. Like
no, thank you. It's not all set up. It's still very much a work in progress, and the angle is not the one that I intend to have in the future. But
yeah, you kind of bit my style with the angle. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
It looks just like your angle. Yeah.
Exactly, in every way.
Aside from that, and assembling furniture, which has been fun, as laborious as it is. Dude, okay, my TV's finally hanging up.
Hell yeah.
I have a couch in the living room.
Hell yeah.
I finally have a bed, not just a bed frame, the bed mattress, the mattress cover, and then all the sheet covers and all the covers. But you know what I'm talking about? All that shit, like everything. And last night was the first night where I got to sleep in the bed, and it was so good. I was like moved almost to tears by
beautiful.
my comfort, just being like, oh my God, it's been so long since I could do this. It felt great. So that's been fun. But other than that, yeah, just like preparing for tour. I finally put out Left-Handed Cigarette across all streaming platforms.
Let's go.
Took me a little over 2 years, but we done did it. So yeah, shouts out to everybody who's been bumping that, and shouts out Lex for the cover art. She killed it.
Hell yeah.
Shout out Marcy
really
for the
sick.
beat. Yeah. So shouts out everybody involved. And also, we just put out the Keep the Change tour trailer at long last.
Let's go, baby. You
want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, it was so much fun. Basically, for people who haven't seen it, it just came out. So it came out 2 days ago. It's basically like it's like a fighting game, like the character select screen, and Mitch, Gilgamesh, and I just kind of like worked on like setting all that up, and then having it go to transitions to like a stage select, and it's got all the cities from the tour, and it's all like very like 2000s coded, you know, like a like Third Strike vibes, you know. And then the most fun part for me was making the music. I had no idea how much fun it was to make that brand of music, that like Y2K kind of like Jet Set Radio style, you know.
If you made a tape like that, or just beats like that, and put it out on Spotify, people would eat that shit up.
There's a part of me that wants to do it under like an alias, like make a because it was so much fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, like do like an alias and put it out under that, because it's like I was like thinking of names and stuff too, because like working on it, like I finished up the beat yesterday or last night, and I was just like, oh man, like this was like the most fun I've had making just a beat in a while, you know. It's it's
That's
really
awesome.
cool. It also feels like because like it has that feeling like Too Mellow is like really good at this too, as a producer who does this kind of music as well. Like I remember I had a conversation with him one time about like on that song was like Tag Walls Punch Fascist. I was like, hey, that song's really dope, and he was just like, yeah, I just didn't want shit to repeat much. And I get it. Like after making kind of that sort of type of music, I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Like almost every bar has got to be a little different. And I love doing that. That's like one of my favorite, like just copy paste, change something, copy paste, change something, like on every bar. It's super fun. So yeah, but shout out Mitch and Gilgamesh, and also Yapiko for providing a lot of the art for it. It's it turned out really sick, and I'm real happy with it. And I'm thinking about posting that beat somewhere for people to download and
Patreon.
stuff. I was considering it. I was considering going.
You should do it
for the Patreon. This is every time that I upload something for the Patreon, I go. Boop.
Yeah, I think that's the one. VoidFM.net for anybody who's interested in hearing that isolated. Yeah, that's awesome. That video is so good. Y'all killed that shit. And then
thank you.
We're about to unveil the merch in like a proper way in the coming days. And also, by the time this episode is out, we will have had the Brooklyn and Baltimore show promo videos posted as well. The ones that you and I worked on together.
Yeah, I'm very excited for people to see those.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, if you've seen them,
those were a blast.
If you've seen them, drop a comment. We'll tell me what you guys thought of these wonderful videos.
Yeah, which one's your favorite so far out of all the ones that are out? I think there's like a cohesion in the sense among all of them, in the sense it's like it's the same cast, it's the same locations ish, but and it's like the same lunacy kind of that ties it together, but the style and approach is different for each one, I think, enough
for sure
to for it to have its own thing.
I gotta say, you've really been snapping on the edits on those. They're, I mean, you always do. You're very good at like this specific thing. Like that's like something I've always been like, oh, he's like super cracked at that. But every time I'm always just like, wow, like it never gets old. Like
they were also fun as fuck to shoot. So
yeah, dude, we have to drop at least one of them. Like if we don't do edits. Or if we do edits, we have to. I know you know which one I'm talking about. There's one in particular that I would like to see completely unedited, even maybe on the Patreon or something.
What about we do this for every promo video we post? We'll post the unedited original footage.
Yeah,
on Patreon. Let's do that.
Yeah, because
that's gonna be so much content for the patrons this month.
Oh my god! Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. Yeah,
let's do that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Also, speaking of tour stuff, I don't think my timeline's all fucked up. My brain doesn't comprehend time in the same way that a normal human does. Just wanted to say thank you guys so much. We sold out of the Ramona vinyls and the Ramona CDs and the Ramona posters and the Ramona shirts in like 3 days. What the flying heck, brother?
Yeah,
that is crazy.
Yeah.
That shit warmed my. That's insane. That like blew my mind.
On the episode, you were saying like, "Hey, so everyone listening, can you go in on the website?" And I said like, "What do you mean? Oh, when it comes out?" I'm like, "What do you mean when it comes out? It's out. Chances are it might already be sold out." And
I was like, "No way. There's no way it's gonna be." You know what I mean? And but it did. But I did want to say, and these are gonna be in limited quantities, but I'm gonna have Ramona vinyl, and I'm gonna have Ramona CDs, and I'm going to have the Ramona posters on tour. So keepthechangetour.com. Come see us if you're looking. Everybody's like been hitting me up constantly. I've been getting so many DMs like, please restock, and I'm just like, we can't right now. Like we're gonna be on the road. Like just come get them on the road.
And we have, I mean? And we already have so much like tour exclusive merch, or stuff that's, like for instance, man, I guess we can cut it out retroactively if you don't want us to include this, but
nah, dude, you should let it fly, bro. You should just let it fly. I could feel that you want to show it, and I also feel the same way. So
finally I can unveil my balls for everyone to see.
Dick and balls. Dick and balls.
This right here, I got a test pressing recently, and I know so have you, Bill. Of this right here. For those that are watching the visuals, the video podcast, here it is. Look at that. Can you see what it says?
What? What title? Keep the change. Artist Kill Bill X Rav.
Rav. Cat, no. What about cat? Yes. So we're gonna be doing this is what don't tell nobody. We're not gonna spell it out, but this is gonna be on tour, but not like the test pressing, obviously. The actual thing.
I didn't get a chance to show this to you, but I wanted to show it to you. I actually purposefully not shown this to you until we could do this on air.
Oh, okay.
In some way. I did this with mine. So I just sat there and
awesome.
just kept doing this in the middle to make it do make me sound like RFK. You know what I mean? So
You just wanted to make sure it was working.
yeah, for sure. I scratched with it too.
Did you?
Not really. I just kind of went like tip it, and then just stopped.
Did you feel cool about it?
Yeah, because the part that I realized retroactively is like this could be worth a lot of money one day, and instead I'm just going chipper with it. Yeah. So that I stopped. I'm doing that.
I feel like that makes it appreciate in value.
Yeah, maybe you're right. You're right.
Case.
Yeah,
but
the one you click now for our for the bidding war on the one that I go I'm on it. Yeah, so
someone out there would like that.
Yeah,
but yeah, when you were over here, we tried to get a lot of stuff done, right? Like the 24-hour live stream and finalize a lot of the merch assets for the tour. And the other thing that we did is basically shoot a bunch of videos for the promo stuff that we're going to be kind of unveiling daily, right?
Yes.
And that was the eve/night before you had to leave. It was like the last thing. We were cramming it. It's like, when you cram your prep for exams the night before the exams. That's what it felt like. We were pretty tired. We were like tuckered out and delirious. I remember I was feeling like, is this fucked up? Like as I was filming you, there were moments I was like, is this how like Stanley Kubrick felt?
Well,
like,
dude,
am I torturing Bill?
There was there was one moment. It was all fine. I think we were both like tired, and we were both like, okay, we got to do it. We got to.
We're delirious,
like,
but
a part of the deliriousness is like what made it funny, and I knew that. Like I knew that like this is kind of part of the process. Like there's a little bit of pain in the art. You know what I mean?
For sure.
But I remember we filmed the last one we filmed, which we actually might be able to save, but it was the one that we did in your room. I remember being like, we were both just silently like, this is not funny. Like, this is not funny. Like, you didn't say it, I didn't say it, but we were both like loudly thinking it. You know what I mean? Like,
what? Hey! In the words of Joe Biden, watch me.
You know what? I have
one word, Bill. Watch me.
That sounded like a GW moment.
Yeah.
I got one word for you. Watch me. Like that kind of.
Yeah. It's good. I like it.
Yeah.
Well, enough of all that sappy shit. Actually, I don't know what I'm saying. The tour starts in...
I get sappy when I talk about GW, you know? I'm just like, oh, he was a good president, that George. He sure did stuff.
Oh, God. Yeah, he sure did. Going on tour 3 weeks from now at this point, it's crazy because I've been practicing this set every morning and every evening. And I feel like I got it. But there's like moments, there's like certain days where like for a moment my mind will wander and I will like fuck something up. And so like I know I still need a little bit practice, but I've learned like certain techniques for practicing that I wanted to share. So first of all, I strongly recommend to everybody, if you're trying to like retain information, like practice it right before you go to bed and then practice it again right when you wake up. It helps, I find, for that shit to really like stick, The other thing that I do, at first I had like a playlist in a particular order that I would listen to front to back. So I kind of already started having expectations. And then when I got really comfortable with it, I started hitting that shit on shuffle so that like, throw whatever at me, daddy-o. I'm gonna hop in and make it work.
Yeah.
And then if I get good at doing a verse by like locking in and thinking about it and executing on the spot, what I try to do then is like after a while, if I feel comfortable, I try to think about other things while I recite the verse. If I can recite the verse whilst actively actually planning something out later in my day, like what I'm gonna eat or whatever, if I can do that, and that takes a while to get to the point, that's like the last stage. But if I can do that, then that shit is like in the back of my mind. This shit is like, it's like there, it's thick. It's, you know what I'm saying? It's all the way in. And that's how I feel when I'm like, if I can do that with every song, then I know I got it. Because like I was noticing there was a difference between like when I was practicing the newer songs versus when the old ones would come on. When the old ones would come on and I would start doing them, my mind would wander as I would do them. It would just be like second nature, and I would just be thinking about like, oh yeah, this part, people love it when you have the like privilege of multitasking in that moment. So for me, I basically reached the conclusion that like, oh, I just need to get to that stage with any and all music that I ever intend to perform live.
For sure.
And then I should be pretty good.
I would actually argue, and this might be a me thing, I would argue that I'm better at performing it if I think about, or better at memorizing it if I don't think about it. Like, like, you know, obviously you have to, like, when you're first starting memorizing something, you have to kind of like, oh, I'm listening to the song a lot. I'm like just rapping it. I'm like, you know, but when I can get past that point, I've noticed that like usually when I fuck up, it's like when I'm like overthinking it. And so I do that thing you're talking about like all the time. And I also wanted to point out the strength of what you were talking about earlier about the like waking up and performing or practicing and then practicing right before you go to bed. That shit is like such an immediate like if you don't know a song very well and you're like, oh shit, man, we got this in 3 weeks, I got to do this or whatever. Like, if you do that, like that locks it in so much faster for me. Like, it's just real. Like I remember there was one song on my tour that I wanted to do, but I was like, oh, I don't know if I'll be able to learn it in time. And I had like 3 days to learn it. And I was like, oh, like it'd be cool to do that one. And like, I ended up like locking it in like 3 days. The guy was just like,
it's possible. You can do it. You just gotta like lock in. Yeah, these techniques are cool. Just something I wanted to share. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I could recommend as far as that goes.
Practicing while you're like doing like on a treadmill is also like really.
Oh yeah.
Especially because like you move around a lot on stage.
I mean, I always move around a lot anyway. So I'll either be doing it outside or inside, but like I try to give myself a lot of space. So that helps. But oh, yes. Okay, here's the next level. Okay. You get good at that and you think you got it locked in. So the next stage I would recommend is going in a room in your house where you have a full body mirror or as close to one as possible and start performing in front of it. Start performing to it, you know? On the one hand, what you're doing is you're trying out body movements and choreography and seeing how that may look, you know, and seeing like what might work, what might not work. And also getting a perspective of yourself, you get to think like, ooh, I should incorporate this, that, or the third. But the other thing is it's like you confront potentially insecurities, you know, and visual distractions. Because it's like, it feels like, even though you know it's just you, and you were there performing just a moment ago, it almost feels like someone watching you. Maybe I'm weird, but it almost feels like now there's someone there, you know?
No, I think there's something there. It's like
turning on a camera and not necessarily like showing it to anyone, but just filming yourself. And it starts to feel like, okay, there's someone there almost, even if you never show it to anyone.
For sure. Yeah, I think that there is like definitely a subconscious thing there for me where it's like, okay, like this is real. You know what I mean? Like it's like if I do it because like I practice a lot in the car, like just to get like shit down, and I'll just like crank up the instrumentals and just rap over them or whatever. Or sometimes I'll just crank one out, you know, while I take my rhino pills and my laxatives and start screaming or whatever. I'll do that like just because like I mean I drive a lot And so it's just like, okay, cool. Like that's a good opportunity to do that. But on top of that, it's like that doesn't feel real to me. That's like I'm practicing. But if I'm doing like motions, I'm in the mirror, I'm seeing it, I'm walking around, like that feels like a real thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, cool. It's like almost like a stage 2 of like,
Mm-hmm.
it's like any part of art has like stages or whatever, I think
Yeah.
that's like the thing. And
Also, as
so,
I do you do this thing where as you practice your set version, you actually fine tune the songs a little bit, where for like improved breath control or certain things, you paraphrase certain things or drop certain syllables here and there because you're like, this is gonna sound better in a live performance because I'm not gonna deprive myself of air, because when you're in the booth, you're not running around and jumping around and doing like multiple songs back to back to back, right? There isn't that like test of endurance that you have to undergo. So a lot of the more like verbose verses, you're not going to be able to perform with the same oomph, and that's okay so long as like you instead kind of like figure out what it is that you do instead. um Maybe in some parts in songs where like, oh, it's gonna be hard for you to go higher up in pitch and that you're gonna have to do a falsetto that you might not be comfortable with, maybe go one down instead, or hit a note somewhere else on the scale that is part of that chord. Like making these kinds of decisions specifically for the shows, do you find yourself doing that a lot?
Yeah. Also, like I try to keep it as true to the record as I can in terms
Mm-hmm.
of like not necessarily my delivery, because I'm usually like way louder when I perform, but like just the cadence and everything. One
Mm-hmm.
thing I'll do is like I almost do like a map in my head of like where to breathe, because like there'll be like a lot, especially for like this record, right? There's a lot of moments where like even in the booth I couldn't like rap certain things. And so I did punch-ins, right? And you
Yeah.
can't really tell they're there, but they're there. And or I could have done it without the punch in, but it would have had like a breath in there and it doesn't like sound as good.
Right.
So what I'll do is like I make like a map in my head of like, okay, like, well, this part's really hard to breathe or hard to do because of breath control stuff. So like, where do I take the big breath to do that? You see what I'm saying? And
We
kind of
also
like
should,
work around, yeah.
since we're performing together, there should be like, I think more communication between me and you, like on like, hey, like I can sometimes tell when something's about to be a bit of a mouthful for you,
Mm,
and that like after that you would need to like, it would be difficult to have, you would either have to compromise on like the oomph on the following line,
mm,
or you would have to just cut yourself out to get that breath and come in hard. And so sometimes I deliberately will jump in and try to finish those more convoluted, mouthful last lines, because I assume you need that. I assume
mm.
like this is where he would benefit from a breath. Um, that's like a thing, for
Yeah.
sure.
Well, even if I say it, like that's one thing is like I appreciate when you do that and I try to do that as well. Just naturally where, because I mean I'll just like do the stacks anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like on some hip hop shit, but try to say like the rhyming word or whatever. But like even if it's a situation where it's like normally on the record I would like cut there, and like if I were to do it live, then I would have to breathe. And so it kind of takes some oomph out of that bar. You
Yeah.
doing that, even if I don't stop, you see what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Masks that. And it will be
Yeah.
like, and it also just sounds cool. You know what I mean? It's like one of
Yeah.
those things too. It's like there's so many moments on this record that although I think it's like pretty experimental, there are like some pretty like cool, like rapidy rap joints that would be it works well with that energy. You know what
Yeah,
I
that
mean? Kind of,
dynamic kind of shit. Yeah.
yeah, for sure. But yeah, I think I don't know. I'm excited though. I'm excited for people to like hear how everything sounds off of Keep the Change live.
Yeah, I'm really
Because yeah.
excited. I'm really excited. I've been practicing like us coming out on stage. I'm like, how's it? We could try this. We could try that. Like
Yeah, yeah,
all
yeah.
of that. That has been really fun. I don't know if we've talked about it on here or not, but um, we like to be very deliberate about how we curate the music of the house, or what's known as the house music, right? Is basically the music that the venue will play before and in between sets, right? And so sometimes they'll just play their own shit. If you don't give them nothing, no instructions, they'll just play whatever they feel like, right? So it'll kind of differ from venue to venue. It's up.
Sometimes
to
you
them.
run the risk on that one of like, you know, you're coming to see us and then you just hear the DJ just like wobble baby, wobble baby, wobble baby, wobble, like that type of shit.
It's also a missed opportunity to not try to do something personally curated, because it can be an opportunity to world build, you know. For the Deception Falls tour, used the Twin Peaks soundtrack.
That shit was crazy.
Yeah, and I was like, I don't think anyone else has ever used that for like house music. And it works so well.
That set, because it's so like different from our music too, and it set like such a vibe that it was like kind of scary. You know what I mean? Like, I remember like hearing the fucking Twin Peaks music, and it was always like I got excited every time because it was like, oh shit, like I'm getting pumped up. We're about to go out there, you know, yada yada. But like I remember the first few times. Yeah, it was very eerie. I'd look out there, people would be like looking around and shit. They had, you know, they had the lights mostly out, you know, and they're just playing this creepy ass dope music. But for my tour, I did a bunch of very opposite vibes. I remember I did a bunch of like city pop stuff, a bunch of like anime OST shit, like just songs that I liked. Some of it was video game music, but I think most of it was just like songs that like kind of fit for Summertime Tour and Summertime Never Ends. That was kind of what I did for that, was like songs that made me think of that.
I did a bunch of ambient music and kind of like Aphex Twin, but I also had like some like a Danganronpa joint in there, I'm pretty sure as well. It was just like vibes, and kind of I wanted to have like a similar like in the sense like I also wanted to be kind of eerie, but a different kind of eerie, a different kind of feeling. Everything was blue. There's so many elements of the set and the merch store that try to kind of like tap into the world that we were trying to build with the like the trailer and stuff at the time, like for the merch, or the stuff and everything. So for this one, we put some together. It's about 2 hours long. And I'm not gonna spoil what it is, but I'm very happy with it, very excited. It took me a while to put it together, but I think it's fire. I went over it the other day, and I was like, wow.
I listened to it like the majority of it the other day while I was just riding around, and I was like, this is really sick.
This is great. Yeah.
Can I tell a house music story?
Oh, please. Oh yes, so please. I love this story.
Yeah, this is a good one. So I remember we were doing this. It was on my tour. You weren't there for this one. It was me, Square, and Melty Cannon. And so like, and I had just met Melty at this point. This was like pretty early on, you know. And so we get there, and it was at this place called The End. We've done there a few times. We performed there.
Nashville?
And yes, yeah. Okay. And so like while we're there, the house music stopped playing. There was something wrong with the house music. The Spotify playlist like stopped working, or like something to do with like their like not the music that was on stage, but just the back end was like not working. Right. And so it was just like silent, right? And then, like, I look at Square and I was like, what the fuck, dude? What the fuck? You know, I was just like, well, I don't want to go out there because if I walk out.
You're like, what the fuck? What the fuck's wrong with me? Fix this shit.
Punching him. Fix this shit. Anyway.
Fix this shit or you're out. You're out.
Yeah. Anyway, so no, I was sitting there talking with him. I was like, dude, what the fuck? What are we? And I'm like just trying to figure out what to do, but I don't want to go out there because it's like if I go out there, there's like a part of the like sting of like, oh, it's like the Kill Bill show, like, and it like takes away like my entrance a little bit. You know what I mean?
100%. Yeah, it's like imagine if like this is a big match between like I don't know Triple H and Kane. And then when Kane's supposed to come out, the flames and all of that, he has none of that. All the sound's out, and he's just supposed to just kind of like walk out like, hey guys, what's up? That wouldn't be right. You'd be robbing the audience of the show by doing that.
So so Square was like, oh, well, I'm gonna go on in a minute, so I'll just go out there and I'll just play something through. And he texted the guy because the guy gave us the sound guy and gave us his number, and he walked away. That's what it was. The sound guy like left. Like I don't remember what happened. He left, and like we're texting him, and he's like I'll be back in like 20 minutes. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? You know, he was cool as shit, and then he just fucking dipped. And so I'm like, I was like, Square, like, is your laptop hooked up? And it was like, yeah. I was like, do you have Wi-Fi? And he said, yeah. And I was just like, can you just like go like play some music, like figure something out, you know? Because it's just silent in there, you know? And he was like,
awkward.
Yeah, okay. And so he walks out there and the crowd's just like, yeah, Square immediately, you know?
Yeah.
And he's just like, hey, everybody settle down. Like, I just got to fix the music, you know? And so he goes over to his laptop and he hits play on something for a split second. And then he's like, okay, cool, it's working. And then he's just like, he's got a mic and he's just like, what should I play to the crowd? Right. And which was a mistake, you know? And so then like this one kid just goes, Inspector Gadget theme. Okay.
What the fuck? There was actually a request?
Yeah, and I'm thinking like,
that's a good request.
I mean, it's a good request, you know, but so Square actually puts it on, and I'm looking because I'm side stage and I can see, but I'm trying not to like let them see me. And you just hear Inspector Gadget, and I look, and the first like 4 rows are all like turning the fuck up, you know, like, and I'm just like, oh man. This is awful because they're enjoying themselves too much. And it's like, if someone takes a video of this, it's like, I'm cooked. This is the most like insane shit. You know, I get it. I would be like that too. Okay. But it's like, you know, the optics would be a little odd. Oh yeah. I went to the Kill Bill the Rapper show. How was it? Inspector. Everyone's like turning up like they're about to go fuck up the claw or whatever, fire. You know? Yeah.
Bro, that's fire.
And so I walked and I'm texting Square and he's not checking his fucking phone because he's up there and he's just looping this fucking song. It's played like 3 times or some shit. You know what I mean? Like,
for real?
He played it like once or twice, realistically. But they were like more, like, you know, like
yeah.
And so
man.
I actually walked out there and I was just like, dude. You gotta, and they're looking at me, and I'm looking at them. I was just like, I grabbed the mic. I was like, you gotta turn this shit off, brother. You know what I mean? And then so I leave, and then like, there's like, then like, I remember like one dude was like, boo. I was like, don't you boo me? Like I was like, don't start this. And then I walked off on stage, and then and then the dude walked in like around that time.
You shouldn't walked out. Next time, like toss a tennis ball.
A tennis? Where am I gonna get a tennis ball?
Let's carry a little tour tennis ball for moments like that.
Next time, shoot him with an airsoft gun.
No, because those are loud. Next time, shoot him with a dart in the neck. With a very immediate
with rhino pills and laxative.
He becomes bricked up and shits himself immediately.
Oh no. He gets that all over the fucking sound system. Now we can't have a show.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, these are some of the things that have been a buzz buzzing in my dang skull for the last few weeks, nay, few months, nay, millennia.
Well, okay. That's good. That's good. I am also excited. I learned something.
I'm more excited than you are. Sorry. Yep.
I feel like it's Christmas Day, and I'm like 10, and I'm getting the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, Tony Hawk Tua's Pros. I'm sorry, dude.
I feel like this is Christmas, but also Halloween, and I'm taking like a nice shit, like a diarrhea, but it's like very satisfying, and your mom's sucking in my dick. But it's like cool, you know, it's really sick. And I'm playing Fortnite.
Taking a nice shit makes you excited. Is that like what I'm getting? Like, I don't know if that's like. I'm playing
Fortnite on my phone. I'm about to get a victory royale.
Dude,
you know,
I had a conversation when I was a kid with another kid because one time I remember being really excited about some other shit, but at
Yeah.
the same time, you know, like that feeling, you get like a feeling, and like, especially when you're younger, you get excited and you can feel that shit in your stomach. You're like, oh yeah, yeah, you know? And at the same time, I had to take a shit real bad, but it wasn't like bad enough to where it was like, oh shit. I was like, basically like, I was like later on in the day or like in an hour, I'm gonna be like, oh yeah, that's just gonna slap. I'm gonna have the best shit ever, right?
Yeah.
And so like I was like explaining this scenario to someone when I was like 9. And I was just like, oh yeah, you know, like you ever been like really excited, but then also had to take a shit, and you're like kind of excited that you got to take a shit later, and you're like, oh yeah, like you know this is gonna be a good shit, you know, and then like
I know
this other
exactly
kid,
what you're saying.
okay, you get it, all right, you're
Yeah.
excited about something else, and then also this
Yeah.
other like a fortuitous, like you just know
oh,
you're gonna
hell
have a
yeah, and I'm shitting. later
yeah,
today.
exactly. I'm explaining this to this kid like. I'm also a kid, by the way. I'm not just saying this to a child. No one take me out of context on that. So I said this to like, I'm like 9. I'm talking to like my classmate, and I'm saying like, "Oh, have you ever done this thing?" And he just like looks at me the whole time, like,
Oh damn, really?
and I'm just like, you never had that? And he was like, no. And then just like continued doing whatever he was doing, like I didn't even say shit.
yeah.
And it made me wonder, like, am I a fucking freak?
Yeah, probably.
Is there something wrong with? Is there something wrong with us? Is this
No.
is this wrong?
No. He's being held down by expectations. Sometimes it hasn't happened in a long time, but every now and then when I have like a woo number 2, right?
Mhm.
The clothes have to come off, you know?
Yeah. Mhm.
I have to just be there like looking like the thinker up in that, you know.
yeah.
You know, I have to really post up. So some people
I get
haven't
it.
done that, not because they haven't been there where they needed that. They've just never been free enough to explore that within themselves. They're being shackled by
I used to
society.
I used to have a friend.
Ooh.
I used to have a friend growing up. I don't know where he is now, but he used to like he could only shit naked. That was his thing.
Yeah.
And like he would
That's a
like
problem.
if he had to take a shit in like a public restroom, he would
Yeah.
like completely disrobe.
That's a problem.
Yeah, and I always and he was just like he was acting like I was weird. And I was like,
Yeah.
I get it. Like the whole time I was like, I get it.
I
You
get
know?
it, but it's problematic. You know, like you gotta chill
Yeah.
out with that. You know,
I would just simply like figure out I would like time my shits if I'm like
I
that,
would
'cause
never
you're
go
like,
camping with this dude.
No.
That sounds awful. You know, like at night you're like,
Unless I'm going to
you come
freaky
out
camp.
to piss. You come out to piss in the middle of the night. You're like, oh, I need to piss, and you see like a Gollum in the corner taking his shit, just naked ass man. You know, in the corner. Yeah,
Like I like the
love
idea.
that.
I like the idea that he's like a silhouette, and the only way you can tell he's naked is like you can see his dick
You
hanging
see his dick
down.
and balls hanging down.
yeah.
And you could tell by the shape of the shadow that even though he's sitting sideways, he's looking straight at you. You can't see. Yeah, you can just see the silhouette, but you know he's staring at you.
Yeah, you see his eye shine like he's an animal.
Yeah, like a cat. Yeah.
It's like the Chronicles of Riddick when he shits. You know what I mean? So,
I feel like this might be
the
our.
Chronicles of Shiddick.
I like this might be our most mature episode yet. I feel like there was a lot of doo-doo talk on this one.
It's mature. I've learned. I feel as though I'm gonna say something controversial. That it's like you start with a purity of making doo-doo jokes, and then as you grow up, you're like getting more like we do blue humor. You know, we say fuck and pussy and stuff like that. You know,
You're saying there's a bell curve. You return back
yes,
to the.
like the true maturity is coming back to because. Hear me out on this. Almost any comedy, I feel like a lot of comedy, comes back to a problematic root, right? Like in some kind of way, a lot of comedy is like problematic inherently. Poop jokes, never. They're never.
I think it's even more simple than that. Personally, I think there's poo is funny for us as kids and young ones because like we all get it, we relate to it, and it's kind of silly. It's like that moment of loss of control, or it stinks. It kind, there's humor to be found in it at a young age where you don't understand like context of other things to set up jokes. Then you start maturing, you start like fine-tuning what your sense of humor is and the sense of humor that you want to be known for and the people you want to surround yourself with. But then eventually you go back to the humor that unifies us all. The unifying human experiences, and one of which is pooping. And that's why it's not problematic. It's because it's a thing that like it's a human experience that we all go through. And it is ridiculous. It is like a humbling thing. Given how much like we've managed to fool ourselves into thinking that we're like very sophisticated. Because we are sophisticated, right? But like we've managed to fool ourselves that we're somehow so far removed from that old caveman version of ourselves, right? When in reality, genetically, there's almost no difference, no substantial difference. And the reality is both them then and us now shit and look ridiculous when we shit,
It's true.
I think that's why it brings us back together. Once you figure your priorities out in life, I think you start returning to things that you liked as a kid because you go back to tending to yourself rather than tending to the version of yourself you think society expects.
Yeah. I like the idea that, like, me saying, like, poo poo caca is like self care.
Yeah, exactly. It is.
I like that.
And it's not only is it self-care, it is like it has a communal spirit to it because it's something that transcends language. It's like one like form of humor that, and some slapstick stuff too, that doesn't really require language. It transcends linguistic sort of borders, as it were. So I guess what we did with this episode is like kind of monumental, is what I'm saying. You know what I mean? This is like
yeah, we really like pushed the boundaries of like what could be a podcast, what could be art. Really,
this is a cross-generational like episode. This is one. Play this one for your grandparents and your kids,
and your grandkids.
Yeah, but if you're kind of in between the two, you got to walk out of the room. Like hit play and walk out. This is not for you. You're not. If you're on the bell curve, you're like on the top of the little hill, or whatever the fuck, right? You're not the target audience.
Get out of here. Leave.
Go do whatever you need to do. Go get old. Hey, go get old and come back when you're real old.
Yeah.
So on this week's Patreon, you'll be getting tons of content. I mean, as you guys know, every week we release an episode for free across streaming platforms and YouTube. But we actually release an extra bonus hour of content, another episode each week over on Patreon.
Whoa.
So for just about, I think $5 or so American, you can get access to all of those extra episodes. So we're currently at some number of episodes. Get it? We're at some number of episodes right now. That's right, we're at 41 numbers of episodes, which means there's a total of 82 if you're subscribed to us on Patreon, because you have another 41 episodes over there. We also drop other things. We have in the past, Bill's put out B-sides material. I've put out beautiful photos of us. This week, we're putting out, and next week, unedited promotional video stuff. And what else that we were going to post this week?
Oh, I'm gonna post my the beat that I did for the tour trailer.
There you go. So subscribe to us on Patreon. Besides that, the other thing that we do is we have a second tier for the tier 2 patrons, people who want to throw a little bit more money at us, which we appreciate because it supports this show directly. What you get to do as a tier 2 patron is have your name appear at the start of the episodes. If you're watching this on YouTube, your name gets flashed on the screen. You get access to the tier 2 Discord channels, which include a channel that Bill and I go into currently on a bi-weekly basis, where we get to talk to you guys directly once every fortnight, where you guys ask us for advice, and we give you exactly that, the best advice that we can think of on the spot, and we're
Best advice
definitely
of all
not
time.
qualified. It's the best advice of all time, and we're definitely not qualified to give it, but we still give it. And so you can, if you want to participate in that, you want to ask us questions, whether by voice message, text message, or in a call, this is the way to do it. And in the future, we definitely want to try some other things. We've been talking about potentially shifting from a bi-weekly advice hour to once a month, and doing a once a month sort of like game night with the tier 2 patrons, where maybe let's say Bill Mitch and I want to play Jackbox with you guys. We'll throw a Jackbox join link specifically in the tier 2 Discord only, so that y'all can join in. So yeah, thank you so much for supporting the show. Don't forget voidfm.net if you're interested in supporting us on Patreon. And keepthechangetour.com if you want to come see us in a few weeks.
Hell yeah. Come see us.
Come on tour. Come see us,
Going on
please.
tour.
Please come see us. And I know I've said this before, and I'm going to keep saying it almost every time, because I've seen people ask about this. A couple of things, actually, right before that. One thing. New Orleans is the only city where we couldn't facilitate VIP tickets, unfortunately. So if you want to come see us in New Orleans, don't delay. Get the tickets now, the regular tickets. We're still going to try to give you the best that we can, obviously. It's a shame we couldn't do VIP with y'all. But, Anyway, so there's that. I've received certain messages, people saying that, like, hey, I really want to come out to support you guys, but I'm terrified. I've never been to a show before. Or maybe they've been to shows before and they've had kind of like not a great time. It was very anxiety inducing. I know it'll probably sound like, oh, of course he's going to say this because he's trying to sell tickets, but that's not true. What I'm about to say, if it weren't true, I would just keep my mouth shut. Our shows are like some of the chillest shows you could ever attend. And I'm not joking. Even in terms of like when it gets energetic and everyone gets buck and everything, like everyone is respectful. That's, I think, what makes it important. Everybody has a good time, but everybody respects each other's space, boundaries, and everyone is really normal. You know what I'm saying? Like in terms of how everyone treats one another. We have tons of trans fans, tons of neurodivergent fans that attend these shows and not only walk away feeling like, wow, this was a safe and welcoming environment where they could like let their guard down. But oftentimes people make friends, like long-lasting friendships coming out to our shows, because there are a lot of like-minded individuals that are connected by the music that we put out, And I like to think that this community is the most welcoming one I've ever had the fortune of coming across, and we're so lucky to have you guys. We really are. But yeah, don't take my word for it. Ask around, ask if you guys have any personal stories coming out to the EXO shows or Bill or Rav shows, and you were worried, but then like you got to see what it was like. Please share some of the stories below. I think that could reassure certain people who might be on the fence otherwise about pulling the trigger, as it were. But yeah, it's a safe space. It's a safe space to party. Let your hair down. Let your guard down too. Not like worrying about nothing. Just having a good ass time. It's a wholesome. It's always wholesome, even when it feels like buck as fuck. It's like,
for sure.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know how to explain it.
It's a cool environment in the sense of like I don't know. I get like a really good vibe from the people that come out, and it seems like everybody's like on some, like if somebody falls down, like every like 3-4 people help them get up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's very like very caring, very like chill. I guess I hate just using the word chill a lot, but it's like a very chill spot to be. You know what I mean?
For real.
So
that's true.
I know that there is like a big part of our fan base that do struggle with a lot of anxiety, especially with something like crowds and stuff like that. But I gotta say, like, this is like one of the it's an easy mode, like version of a lot of this for a lot of people.
And also, you're not alone. You know, that's the thing. I think that's part of it is there's so many people in there that will also have anxiety, you know, or it might also be their first show for many of these people. So just remember, you're not alone, and there's no mean-spirited people attending these shows. There's no one there. Your ops aren't attending these shows. No one's trying to do anything but have a good time, you know, and so should you.
Absolutely.
And on that note, I think we should wrap up for this week. We will be back next week. Don't forget to subscribe on Patreon and take good care of yourselves. Peace.
Peace.
The following is a preview of this week's Patreon exclusive episode. Available now over on the Void FM podcast Patreon.
It's your boys Rav, Bill, and Mitch. Welcome back. And we're playing Dress to Impress. Bro, get the fucking hot dogs out your eyes.
Here I come.
Oh shit. Oh my god.
Oh, he's hitting it.
Oh shit.
No, dude, you popped
it.
off.